I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a radio announcer. I'm a high school football coach. And since I was old enough to stand on the side of a stream next to my dad, I've been an angler. I've fished with bait, lures, and flies. I've fished with spinning gear, fly rods, jigging poles, and tip-ups. I've stood on ice, waded rapids, and been tossed about the deck of a boat. And I want you to love fishing, be it freshwater or salt, heavy flows, high seas, or cutting through a foot of ice, as much as I do, no matter what the quarry, no matter the tactics, no matter the chosen tackle. Welcome to Yankee Fisherman. Good afternoon, everybody. Thursday, December 10th. Welcome to another episode of Yankee Fisherman. If you were watching and you were paying attention, you saw we've got a new opening there. I want to thank A.J. Simonowski and Eric Gendron for their help on that, plus those who appear in that. And there's a number of them, all better fishermen than I am, as we go on this journey to try to make ourselves better anglers. 2 weeks till Christmas Eve. It's December 10th. One of my favorite times of the year, always has been. Always will be. And we've all seen the Santas holding bass, or Santa with a rod, or the the Creole type ornaments. There's a lot of kind of kitschy fishing themed Christmas ornaments out there. I've got some. I enjoy them. I like them, and they're great. But I saw some real interesting creations up at Art of the Angler, where they're artists, they really are artists, are making Christmas ornaments out of some very colorful and mostly very traditional flies. We got a chance to catch up with some of them. Okay. We got a chance to catch up with some of them, and they explained what they're doing, really some fun stuff, some really unique stuff for that angler you might be looking for a Christmas present for. Up first is Scott Cesare, who we've had on before. John Kovach, Yankee Fisherman at Art of the Angler. We're with an old friend, Scott Cesare. Scott, Christmas is coming up. You've got the ornaments, which feature a pretty small salmon fly in there, in a glass ball. I love the look. How did you come up with this idea?
Yeah, thank you. Well, it's just trying to think of different ways to utilize the flies. You know, they're so pretty, these little flies. And they're very colorful, and I think they just lend themselves well to a display type of a piece. And in thinking of different ways to display them, ornaments had come to mind, and so I fiddled with it and tried it, and this was the result.
So it looks like the fly is on an actual hook, and then it's suspended from the hanger in the bulb?
That's right, yep, just a little piece of mono, and I tie a loop in it so that I can adjust where that's placed on the shank, so I can hang it with the pitch that I want it to rest in, and then that's just attached up to the top.
Any patterns that particularly lend themselves to the ornament?
Well, these are all, the flies featured here are all Ray Bergman wet flies from the book Trout, which was published, I think, back in 1938. Those style of flies in particular, I think just because of the color, lend themselves well to this type of a display.
Now, do you see a big demand for these?
I do. I usually do pretty well each season with these, and oddly enough, I'll put these on the table all year long, and I'll sell sometimes just as many of them in June as I will around Christmas time. I think just because it's something different and unique.
And how can somebody get information on your ornaments?
They're welcome to visit my website, www.scottcesareflytying.com. They're featured there, and you can certainly contact me at any time with a special order, or if you have other questions or anything like that.
Scott, great stuff as always. Thanks for joining us on Yankee Fisherman.
Thank you for having me.
Scott does some of the most unique stuff, and now not far from Scott, Tom Farmer was set up. Now he's doing a similar thing with the ornaments, but a different approach. He gave us a few minutes to talk about what he's doing. Here's our interview with Tom Farmer. Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop. We're at Art of the Angler in Danbury, presented by the Catskill Fly Fishing Center and Museum. The holidays are upon us, and we're getting ready for Christmas, and we're going to use flies to decorate. Here with Tom Farmer. Tom, good-looking stuff. How long have you been using salmon flies in Christmas ornaments?
Well, it's only this year that I started putting the salmon flies in. Prior to that, I'm noted for my deer hair bugs, so I did a whole series of flies in Christmas characters. I had Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Santa's Sleigh. I had a fireplace. I also had a snowman. I had a whole nativity tied on a hook. And those were all placed inside of Christmas balls.
All with deer hair?
All with deer hair.
Did you trim, or it's all spun?
It's spun and then trimmed, of course,
okay.
Yeah. And the ones with the deer hair, I wound up having an insert that went inside. So, like with Frosty the Snowman, it would say Frosty the Snowman on it. The snowman would be on one side of the card. On the back side, it had the snowman, that was a Merry, Merry Soul, would be written on the back. So you have two sides on the ball. Now these balls also have two sides. The smaller balls, let me just take this off. The smaller ball also has a seam in the back.
Very nice.
Okay, so you have your streamer fly in the front, and then you're on the back side.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right. Now the same goes for the larger ball, but the larger ball has the salmon fly on one side and the materials that made it.
Oh, that's awesome. So you get the deconstructed salmon fly on the back side.
And even the hooks, the hanging hooks, have a little bit of design to them too, where you had these extra pieces that go onto the hook.
Yeah, we've got a little poinsettia.
Yeah, right, poinsettia. I also have a little snowflakes that way too, but because I'm using white mainly in this one, it's better with the poinsettia on it.
That's beautiful stuff. Now, how can somebody get these?
Well, the balls are sold at craft shops. You can buy them in Michael's, where I get them now. And the material inside that insulates the flies and the materials that holds it in place basically is the Christmas snow, the artificial snow.
Right.
You can use the stuffing like you use for pillows, but the one with the Christmas stuff has little pieces of mylar through it, like crystal mylar, and it gives it more of a sheen or shine to it. Yeah.
You prefer the flatter color?
Yes. Yeah. No, I like the flatter color, but you can do different designs. Anything that doesn't take away from your main subject, which is the fly. That's what you want to do.
It really does get to the root of the fly as artwork.
Oh, yes.
And then tie it into the holidays like this. It's what a great application.
Well, that fly can actually come out of that ball and be used. There's nothing in it that anchors that fly. It's the pressure of the filling that just holds it in place. So these were full-dress salmon flies that I tied, and then they went into the balls.
So in theory, somebody could use these balls.
They could break it open. Yeah.
Salmon flies to a fisherman.
Right.
Great idea. Tom Farmer, thank you so much. That's
You're
a lot
welcome.
of fun, and that's what fly tying is supposed to be about. Thanks so much.
Sure.
The fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait in the Long Island Sound. This is the time to visit the New England coast, and the Dock Shop can get you outfitted with the latest fishing gear, jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, simply love the New England coast. This is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
It's time to come back to hometown banking, where people are taken into account, not just balances, where community comes first, a place where there's more than one kind of interest, where automation will never replace consideration, where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
Here at the Darien Sports Shop, we are very excited about our newly redesigned men's department. Gentlemen, if you're shopping for work, weekend, or wedding, we've got the latest styles and trends inside our spacious new department just for you. We have vast selections from Peter Millar, Vineyard Vines, Johnny O, Duckhead, Barber, and so much more. And you can even walk out of the store in the new Wolverine 1,000-mile men's boot. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut, or shop us online at dariensport.com.
Hi, I'm Rob Adams with my good friend Donald Eng, and we're the home team for Nutmeg Sports, Monday through Wednesday at 2 o'clock right here on the HAN Network. We are the place for all things Connecticut sports, so come hang out with us on Nutmeg Sports. Don? They don't call him the best color man in the game for nothing. Nutmeg Sports, 2 o'clock Monday through Wednesday right here on the HAN Network.
Welcome back to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop on the HAN Network, Thursday, December 10th of 2015. Really enjoyed those interviews with Scott Cesare and Tom Farmer. I'm a Christmas nut, and I love creative uses for fly tying. I always threaten to try tying Christmas tree earrings. And hopefully next year I'll be doing that, and maybe we can do a demo on that. But fortunately, there's guys like Scott and Tom far better than I am to do stuff like those ornaments that they just showed us in that last segment. Also up at Art of the Angler, we were near the folks from McGalloway Farm, which is a lodge up in Maine, maybe a little more than a lodge. And we got to talk to John Pollock, the guide who is in charge of McGalloway River Farm, for a few minutes up there. Let's go to that interview real quick. We're with John Pollock of the McGalloway River Farm.
That's correct, yeah.
Where in Maine are you?
We're in Wilson's Mills, Maine, which is western Maine. It's very close to Rangeley area. To the west of Rangeley.
Big fishing destination. Tell us about the McGalloway River.
Right, it's a great fly fishing only river. That's if you like to nymph fish and streamer fish, it's a great place to be. We have a hunting and fishing lodge there, and I'm a registered Maine guide. I offer trips around the area, either on the McGalloway, which is our home water, or to the Rapid River, which I'm sure most people have heard about.
Exclusively trout, primarily trout?
It's trout and salmon, landlocked salmon. We do offer bass fishing trips in the Umbagog National Wildlife Refuge, which is just down the road, about 5-10 miles. And you can use either a Maine or New Hampshire fishing license there.
And how does one get information on McGalloway River Farm?
You check out our website at McGallowayRiverFarm.com, and that's spelled MAGALLOWAY, riverfarm.com.
Maine offers
offers a lot in terms of fishing destinations, but people might not always think of it as a place to go fishing. How do you overcome that?
Well, I thought it. I consider Maine an incredible fishery all over, especially our area. I don't think many people know about our area. They know about the range. There's a lot of fishing heritage in our area between the Carrie Stevens streamer that was developed around the turn of the century at Upper Dam, which is less than 5 miles from us, yeah, I think it's like one of the best places to go fishing.
So it's
in the Northeast.
Sounds like a highly desirable location.
It sure is. For sure.
Galloway River Farm. John Pollock, thank you so much for introducing this fishery to us.
Thank you very much.
And thanks to John Pollock for giving us a little taste of Maine and McGalloway River Farm. Speaking of Maine, an old friend of ours, Bob Mallard, we had him on after one of his most recent books was published. He's recently finished a PowerPoint presentation on Maine brook trout lakes and ponds. It's about 125 slides with text, 25 charts, maps, 100 pictures, and he's looking for groups such as TU chapters, fishing clubs, that want to hear him talk about what you can catch there, how you can catch it, tackle, what flies are going to work, all that good stuff, hatches. So you can get Bob to talk about Maine brook trout lakes and ponds by reaching directly to him, Bob Mallard 58, that's Bob Mallard, M-A-L-L-A-R-D 58, at gmail.com. We're also going to post this information. Actually, it's already up on the Yankee Fisherman Facebook page. His phone number's in there as well, and you can reach Bob Mallard on that. I know that one Trout Unlimited chapter up in Rhode Island has already reached out to him about possibly doing a presentation to them. Sounds like it's a really good piece. Another old friend of the show, one of our first guests, was up at Art of the Angler. I got to spend some time with him, which I always enjoy talking to him. It's, I believe, the first time we met face-to-face was up at Art of the Angler a little more than a month ago up in Danbury. And Steve Colton, who through currentseams.com and his blog and his Facebook posts and everything, offers constant information about the Farmington and about flies. Well, as part of our Art of the Angler segment, Steve did a quick tie for us. It's a neat and easy fly that I'm going to try myself and really looking forward to it. Let's go to Steve Colton. John Kovach, Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop. We're live at Art of the Angler in Danbury, the Ethan Allen Inn. Event sponsored by the Catskill Fly Fishing Center and Museum. So there are tires all over the place. Among them, longtime friend of the show, one of the original guests, Steve Colton. Steve is going to do a tie for us. Steve, what's on the vise?
So right now on the vise we have a 2X short, 2X strong scud hook. What I'm going to tie here is called 60-second redhead. It's a great steelhead fly. What makes it a great fly is that, well, one, of course, it works. Catch a lot of steelhead on this fly. But the other thing about it that I like so much is that it's a very simple tie, and you're not going to get depressed if you lose one on the bottom. It's basically a stone fly with a little bit of a hot spot. I'm going to wax my thread up here. I'm using Loon High-Tack Swax. I like to use that stuff because whatever you put on stays stuck. So the original recipe for this fly called for a complex mix of beaver and mohair and flash. I'm just using black crystal dub, which is a mix of bunny fur and crystal flash. It's a fly, it's called a 60-second redhead because you're supposed to be able to tie it in 60 seconds. I never tie myself, but for me fly tying is a journey and an adventure, not a race. So I'm using red thread. And I'm just going to wind a body on here, tapered body. I'm not going to be too particular about it.
Spray it and dries it automatically.
I like to fly thinner as opposed to chunkier. Right. Now comes the redhead part. I'm going to put a little more swax on there. for the redhead part,
it only works with Zap Gap, though, right?
using red ice dub.
That'll work on any.
Start off using less than you think you need because you can always add more. It's a general fly tying rule of thumb. Always use less material. Because it's,
I'm one of those people who always overdubs.
It's an easy habit to get into. I'm the type of tie. If I have one flaw as a fly tyer, that I make my heads too close to the eye of the hook.
I'm familiar with that.
But that's not going to happen here. So as you can see, I'm not even being super fussy with this fly because there's a few stray fibers I'm going to clip here. But this fly is what it is, and what it is a really simple tie, a little black stone fly with a red head, a hot spot, if you will. And I mean, that's all there is to this fly. I mean, that's it.
I kind of got away from
no weighting to that, no ribbing to that.
Nope, it's I have tied it using fine copper wire as the thread, and that'll add a little bit of weight to it. But basically, I'm counting on my leader system to sink the fly, and any weight that I might add to that. Like I said, this is a fly that I fish on the Salmon River when I either see little black stones in the air or when I really need to catch a fish, because it's what you call a high confidence fly.
And you're not waiting. Are you weighting the leader for this?
I am, but I like to use as little shot as possible. I mean, I think as a general rule of thumb with any kind of nymph presentation, you want to use as little weight as possible to A, get the fly down to where the fish are, and B, to manage the speed of your drift. Because weight isn't always to sink a fly quickly, it's also to keep that fly moving at a certain pace. Okay, but again, I like to use as little as possible. I see too many, especially steelheading. There's too many rigs I see that have got these big, buckshot size split shot on there. It's just not needed. So.
And this is not the weighted crystal. This isn't the metal.
Nope. It's just regular standard issue crystal. Is it ice dub? Ice dub, and the crystal bunny is it's not weighted. You could weight the fly down if you wanted to. I typically don't like to add weight to flies unless it's absolutely necessary. But it's a proven fish catcher. I can't tell you the number of people I've handed this fly out to on the river, and moments later they've hooked up. It's a good producer, and I actually, speaking of Yankee Fisherman, I actually got it from a guy named Randy Jones who has a website called Yankee Angler. It's called Tom's 60-second redhead, but I stole it from them. So always steal from good sources.
No good idea goes unstolen.
Absolutely.
In fishing. The 60-second redhead, Steve Colton, thanks for tying this with us here on Yankee Fisherman.
My pleasure.
The whole idea is that it's not a hole going through.
While the temperatures are cooling down, the fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait that are abundant in the Long Island Sound. If you love the New England coast during autumn, this is the time to be on the water. The latest from Shimano, Quantum, Avet, Hoagie, Phase 2, and more are in stock and ready to go at the Dock Shop. And don't mind those fall breezes with jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece from Grundens and Stormer. The Dock Shop will keep you warm and dry. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Does buying a car leave you feeling like you're chasing your tail? Head straight to Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram and take car buying in a whole new direction.
In Pound Ridge since 1993, the Wine Connection is one of America's best wine shops. Visit our beautiful store for the greatest in wine and knowledgeable service. With wonderful values from around the world to collectibles for your cellar, we are your one-stop source. Visit our online shop at wineconn.com and make sure to sign up for email updates. With great offers, new arrivals, and special events, don't miss all the action at The Wine Connection, including tastings every weekend. The Wine Connection, located at 32 Westchester Avenue, Pound Ridge, New York. I'm Kate Chaplinsky. Join us for Coffee Break, weekdays at 11 to get the latest Connecticut news, weather, high school sports, and more. News doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break on the HAN Network.
Welcome back to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop this Thursday, December 10th of 2015. John Kovach with you. Thanks to Steve Colton, currentseams.com, for demonstrating the 60-second redhead for us. A fly I want to tie, want to try out, really can't wait to do so. If you're free, there is a chance to go up and try that on the Farmington Saturday the 12th. Mianus TU is going up there. If you want a carpool, you can meet at 9 Saturday morning at the Branchville train station, or you can drive up on your own. It's an easy drive. It's up to you. Free barbecue lunch provided by Mianus TU. The fishing is from 10 to 2 with a midday break for the barbecue. Open to anybody, no angling experience required, but RSVP by email to Tony Hill so they know how much food to get. That's the Mianus TU website. You can get his email information. Mianus TU is going to hold its monthly meeting and its annual holiday party. I will be cooking for this on Tuesday, December 15th. That's at 7 o'clock at Port 5, 69 Brewster Street in Bridgeport. Representatives from Spey Casting Northeast are going to talk about that two-handed method of casting. We had them on the show before last year's Speyclave upstate. We're going to have them on again. I'll be at the meeting, or plan to be. It's the annual potluck dinner for Nutmeg. This is their holiday party. So there's information on what you need to make if you are going and you're a member at nutmegtrout.org. There will be a raffle, by the way, for an 8-foot Winston 4-weight, which would be a nice win. And that is at the next Nutmeg TU meeting. Narragansett TU up in Rhode Island, they're going to hold the final monthly membership meeting of 2015. That's on Wednesday the 16th. That's at 6:30 p.m. at the Coventry West Greenwich Elks Lodge, 42 Nooseneck Hill Road in West Greenwich. That's going to be a celebration of the holidays as well. And then, keeping in the holiday spirit, there's a couple of New Year's Day outings coming up that we'll have more details on. Mianus TU going to the Norwalk River at Merwin Meadows. Nutmeg TU going to the Mill River along Congress Street in Bridgeport. We'll have more details on that on coming shows. And an event I'm hoping to get to and talk to some people at, and that is the 5th Annual Connecticut Surfcasters Association Demo Day. That's going to be Saturday, January 30th. We're already talking 2016, which is kind of scary. A lot of hands-on demos there. We'll have more detail on that in the coming weeks, but I'm hoping to get a number of segments, at least meet some people, up at the Connecticut Surfcasters Association Demo Day. Thanks to everybody who helped make today's show possible. And I've mentioned the date a couple of times, that December 10th, and I just want to steal a minute here to wish my wife a happy 10th anniversary because she puts up with a guy who came home from work about 2 years ago and said, hey, I'm starting a fishing show, and didn't totally flip out on me, and encourages me to get out fishing, encourages me to coach, and we wouldn't have Yankee Fisherman. I wouldn't be me if I didn't have Kathy Kovach happy anniversary. That's going to do it for this week's Yankee Fisherman. We'll be back next Thursday with more angling news on the HAN Network. Hey, we've got some late breaking news into Yankee Fisherman, so we're doing a little addendum to today's show, which was recorded previously because of some scheduling conflicts, but it's good news. It appears that we have saved the hatcheries. The hatcheries do not show in the list of cuts that was approved by the state legislature on Tuesday. It looks like the hatcheries, from all reports, are safe again. Let's not rest on our laurels and forget about it till the next time they try to cut it. Let's go out now and let's fight to get these things permanently protected and let our license fees and the guide fees that they're charging guys for guiding now and all that money go to keep these hatcheries going. It was a short-sighted plan that would have really hurt revenue coming in. Let's make sure we never face that battle again. But to everybody who pushed it and circulated petitions and sent letters and wrote to the governor and wrote to legislators, thank you. We saved the hatcheries, it looks like. Let's not let it happen again. And let's look forward to more stocking, more trout in the classroom, more salmon in schools. Tight lines.